Well, I've been working with both Sarah and India on an air sensor loan program in tribal communities through Region 10. They both have had a lot of experience, both working with air quality and more recently with tribes. And I've enjoyed my work with them as we've been able to expand some air quality monitoring networks using some low-cost sensors. So with that, I'll turn it over. I believe that India is going to get us started.
Thanks, Mansell. And thank you everyone for joining our presentation today, Sensor Loan Programs in Tribal Communities. My name is India Young. I'm a physical scientist on the Tribal Air Team with EPA Region 10. Our goal for this presentation is to share information with you all about EPA Region 10 Sensor Loan Programs and to highlight successes from our partners. We'll give an overview of what two of our partners, the Nez Perce Tribe and Heritage University on Yakima Reservation, accomplished with their programs, and then hand it over to Mansell Nelson, you heard from, to talk about his work with sensors, including partnering with R10. Sarah Waldo, EPA Region 10 Senior Air Monitoring Specialist, will then wrap up with some big picture lessons and talk a bit about our upcoming project. And we'd also love to hear input from this group on what you're looking for from the Sensor Loan Program. And I also want to thank our project partners who contributed to this work and this presentation who aren't speaking today. Jessica Black and her students from Heritage University, Jana Bolapentis and Mary Falsey, Nez Perce Tribe, and Josie Comcock with ITEP. Next slide. So why sensor loan programs? Taking a look at this map, you can see a snapshot in time showing spatial coverage of air quality monitoring in the Pacific Northwest. So the blue dots represent regulatory monitors and the purple stars represent low-cost sensors. And as you look across the region, you'll see gaps in monitoring coverage, especially in the rural areas. So one key benefit of participating in the sensor loan programs is to increase coverage, and especially of PM 2.5 monitoring in rural areas, including tribal lands. So in particular, the purple air sensors that we've been working with offer the public, as citizen scientists, access to localized current air quality projected as the air quality index online through EPA's Fire and Smoke Map. This information can then be used as a tool to increase community awareness of air quality and can be coupled with messaging guidance on how to protect health. And lastly, why sensor loan programs? As community members view this AQI data and receive health messaging, they can adapt their behaviors to better protect themselves, such as going indoors in a clean airspace, turning on a filter fan, wearing a mask. And especially during these periods of increased smoke and increased particulate matter pollution. Next slide, please. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our 3 loan programs in Region 10, and they build upon each other. So the first program is hosted by the Tribal Air Team, and it's geared towards tribes borrowing purple air sensors. And we also have other handheld monitors that they can loan for 1 to 2 years or borrow for 1 to 2 years. And we also partner with the Manchester lab to manage this equipment. And to date, more than 15 tribes have loaned this equipment and deployed sensors at tribal facilities, offices, schools, health clinics, and other community locations. So that's our first program. And that started in roughly 2018 with the deployment of the Purple Airs in late 2018. So building on this program, we then participated with EPA's Office of Research and Development, ORD, Region 5 and Region 9 to launch a secondary loan program. And that is titled Sensor Loan Program in Tribal Communities. And that program was funded through the RSTIP grant, Regional State and Tribal Innovation Project. And our team included Christy DuBoisky, Sarah Wilder, and myself. And then we reached out and partnered with Institute for Tribal Environmental Professionals, Environmental Education Outreach Program, the Nez Perce Tribe, and Heritage University. And our partners are amazing. Not only did they implement creative, innovative loan programs, they worked together to include ITEP interns in the launching and design of their programs, supported each other's work, and produced secondary deliverables, which we'll hear more about later in the presentation. Working with ORD and R5 and R9, our partnership develops a loan program curriculum as well, and we tailored it specifically for our region, our portion, considering the inversions and other sources of smoke that we have in Pacific Northwest year round. We also have recorded Air Quality 101 trainings, a quick start guide, and other resources available. And so these are all available, and some are still being added and finalized, but they're available for everyone to use and download. Then ORD purchased Purple Air sensors and shipped them to the tribal partners that we worked with, and they began launching their programs over time. So that's the second loan program. And Mansell's going to talk more about that in a little bit, his portion. And lastly, recently, Region 10 was awarded American Rescue Plan funding to build on these first two loan programs. So this new project is called Sensor Technology for Rural and EJ Air Monitoring. So this builds on the prior two programs, and that we're still reaching out to rural areas, but it's expanded to rural areas with EJ concerns. And we are going to offer Purple Air sensors again, but we also have thingy sensors and air quality flags that we'll be offering to partners. And for this program, we're specifically focused on schools. And then from there, we'll also reach out to other community organizations. And I want to also give kudos to Mansell, because he always keeps the school audience in the forefront of our sensor discussions with our RSIP project, and his avocation of sensors in schools is very much an inspiration for applying for the ARP funds. Next slide. And then I'm going to talk about the other two programs and then turn it to Mansell. So for the Nez Perce Tribe, their air quality program was led by Jonna and Mary, and they also worked with ITEP interns. And they launched a very creative, innovative program. They worked with their rural library network to place sensors in 9 rural libraries. But they didn't stop there. They added air quality flag programs. They added boxman demonstrations. They added a moisture meter loan program. So that moisture meter loan program is new, and from what I understand, it's just another loan program where community members can take the moisture meter and test their wood to make sure they're burning, their firewood is dry enough to burn. And this work has been great for their community members and being able to access the community level air quality data, especially during periods of increased smoke. And their reservation is also heavily affected by wildfires and wood heating season, smoke from wood heating season. The tribe's use of the flag program was very effective, an effective addition to the loan program because it offered a visual tool to inform the public on current air quality conditions so that folks can adapt their behaviors again and keep themselves safe. And I just wanted to note that the Nez Perce Tribes program, this loan program has been highlighted nationally, and they also had significant input in the development of our curriculum materials. And last but not least, next slide. So Heritage University. So we partnered with Jessica Black at Heritage University and her university students, and she also supported ITEP interns. And she had the creative idea to launch sensors on Yakima Reservation at the Cultural Center and to build a solar demonstration site. So where the sensor could be off the grid. So the pandemic did add significant challenges to their in-person work, but they were still able to demonstrate the sensors in the field with the students, review and give feedback on the curriculum, and participate in presentations at the National Tribal Forum last year on the loan program development. And currently Jessica's working on with her students to test the curriculum at the tribal high school. And we're gonna hear how they, their experience using the curriculum we developed. And I just wanna mention that the Yakima Reservation is an airshed of particular concern with regards to PM 2.5 also. And these sensors, again, provide much needed coverage in the PM data gaps across the reservation. So now I am going to turn it over to Mansell to talk more about his work and successes.
Thanks, India. I've really appreciated the partnership with Region 10 and with Heritage College and Nez Perce. And part of what made it so beneficial to me was it gave me opportunities to support internships in all those different partners to help out with the project and give our young college students an opportunity to learn real world experiences. Next slide, please. So this is me. I'm a program manager at the Institute for Tribal Environmental Professionals. The Institute strives to serve the 574 federally recognized tribes around the nation. And I'm a program manager in the air quality training program. I specialize in indoor quality and in community and school outreach. And on the right-hand side are me with my beautiful grandchildren. Next slide, please. So this is just an overview of the EOP Mission, which is one of the programs within ITEP. We're really focused on the education and outreach and working in communities. And so that's why working with India and Sarah was so beneficial to me, is because it gave me chances to work at community and school level. Thank you. Next slide. So we've been developing basically an ITEP Purple Air network. I've told a few people along the way, my goal is to get a Purple Air into every tribal school. And that may seem like a big goal, but through the various programs that I've been able to get involved in, we're actually making some headway on that. And this is an opportunity for some citizen science and community science, particularly at the school level, but also working with a number of communities as well. And this helps increase air quality awareness. As I talked about in my last presentation, sometimes it's really difficult for people to understand something you can't see. And so these instruments really help us with understanding the things that we can't see. The program, of course, is focusing on particulate matter, and we have lesson plans and presentations available, like India said, and there's the one website where you can go to get access to all these materials. Next slide, please. And I do still have some of the sensors that were provided by Region 10 available. So if you are interested in a loan of a Purple Air, be sure to contact me. Email is probably the best way, and we can set up a call and discuss. And of course, with the Purple Air, we're focusing mostly on particulate matter, and I'm sure many of you are already well aware of these, but when we're working with communities and schools, a lot of this is new information. And of course, there's a lot of different sources of particulate matter, and it's a well-known, well-documented health issue across the nation and across the world. Next slide, please. So part of the work that was done as part of this Region 10 partnership was, as India indicated, developing some curriculum. We had a contractor working with us. And this is just a page out of the curriculum, a guide for helping students collect information and analyze information and draw conclusions. Next slide, please. And all this is available to you via the link earlier in the presentation. And so these are some of the sensors. The Purple Air outside is the one that we have available for loan. I also often encourage schools to use an inside one because I'm very concerned about the inside air. And then on the bottom is a personal device that I have found to be really useful for students. They like things that move around, so they don't like, they're not as excited about things that are static. So by having their own personal monitor, they can check their homes, they can check their school route, the bus stop, everything else. Next slide, please. And so another program that we've been working on, which is a partnership with the University of Montana called REACH. It's another citizen community science initiative, but this one is really encouraging basic inquiry-based research. So students learn about air quality, but they also, we use air quality as a way to develop and understand research method design. So students are actually conducting research. It's a structured, guided approach so that both teachers and students can learn about conducting research. Next slide, please. And through their program, they provide a variety of materials to do that guided research. So there's lesson plans that teachers can use. And of course, students are learning science by doing science. Next slide, please. And with that project, we add a few more sensors. There's now low-cost, what I call consumer sensors. The two round ones there that add some interesting capabilities. Of course, we got to keep in mind these are sensors, and their accuracy may not be the greatest, but they definitely show trends, and they can help us think about our own air quality, either in our homes or in a classroom. I've been using, well, really all of these in different ways, and have found it, even though I've been working on air quality for over 20 years, I have found it enlightening to really be aware of what's going on in my personal space. Next slide, please. And I'll turn it over to Sarah to continue sharing about the sensor program. Thank
Great,
you.
Thanks, Mansell, and thanks, India. I have a lot of animations on this slide, so if the person who's advancing the slides could go ahead and advance those. So I'm going to try to keep this brief so we have time for questions, but overview some of the highlights in terms of outcomes, talk about our future work and how we're looking for future partners, and also some of the available resources. This is a great place to pause for a second on the slide. So like India mentioned and Mansell as well, several educational products came out of the 2-year collaboration with ITEP, NESPERS, and Heritage University. And these are all available either via the URL that Mansell shared and also on the EPA's sensor toolbox. So we have the Air Quality 101 slides and recorded trainings. We have the quick start guide specific for purple air sensors. We have a best practices guide, again, for purple air sensors. And that curricula that Mansell showed one of the worksheets for, specific to the rural Northwest, called "Is That Smoke Affecting Me?" Another great outcome was the relationship building with tribal communities. It's great for us at EPA, who are kind of, hanging out in Seattle, to hear directly from folks about the needs of their communities and what really works in terms of improving quality of life and reducing exposure to air pollution. Okay, next, please. And oh, great. And so here's the last outcome I wanted to highlight is a really exciting, tangible outcome. Because the purple air sensors get pulled into the Air Now Fire and Smoke Map, which is a website that integrates data from regulatory monitors that the state and local agencies run, state, local, and tribal agencies run, with some quality assured purple air data, and all of the NESPERS sensors that were deployed at libraries are showing up on the fire and smoke map. All right, next. And success of the funding led to additional funding, which is always nice. Okay, just really quickly, here are some of the secondary outcomes or sort of bonus unintended or unplanned outcomes. And this is really a great part about collaborating so closely with our tribal partners. The NESPERS tribe combined the sensors with the Air Quality Flag program and DIY filter fans, the moisture meter loan program that India talked about. Sensor loans can also be combined with tribal healthy homes outreach and indoor air quality. A lot of folks like to pair outdoor and indoor sensors to look at things like smoke intrusion. And more resources developed. ITEP now has a QOP template for tribes and an MOU template, which are great. That can be kind of a heavy lift for a new program. And the NESPERS tribe developed flyers in the local language, as well as program outreach materials. Next. Okay, so this is our, in case you haven't picked up on this is our pitch for anybody else who is interested in getting involved in a sensor loan program. We have this program, this additional funding that's just getting started, and we're broadening out to partner with schools and community centers in rural areas with EJ concerns, including tribes. We'll mostly be loading purple air sensors, and we also have a couple multi-pollutant sensors called Thingy AQ sensors. We'll be leveraging the resources we developed during the RSTIP program, and taking those lessons learned and supplementing with the Air Quality Flag program and box fan filters. So the timing of this, if you would like to get involved, is since we just received the funding, we're in the phase of equipment procurement and an outreach plan, but we would love to connect with folks at this conference if you think this would be a good fit for your community. Next slide, please. Okay, and then I want to highlight these two resources before we close. The air sensor toolbox on epa.gov. This is kind of a landing page for a ton of educational resources, sensor performance test protocols, QOP templates, and other citizen science resources. And next, please. Oh, I'm sorry, next slide. Oh, great. And then this is a screenshot of the lower 3 states on the AirNav fire and smoke map. And I think India put the link to that in the chat. And like I said, this brings in purple air sensor data as well. Okay, next slide. This is the last slide. Yeah, with that, we want to thank you for your attention and thank you so much to the summit organizers for having us. I know on a personal note, it's been really inspiring to see all of the amazing people contributing to all these solutions for all these challenging problems. So thank you so much, and we'd be happy to hand it back over to the meeting organizers.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your presentation. I don't see any questions at this time. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is say thank you again. We really appreciate the presentation. Just a reminder, you know, these are on the platform on the left-hand side, resources, and then documents. They can all be downloaded, including the email addresses for each of these speakers. So please feel free to reach out to them. And again, we really appreciate y'all's presentation.